Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of the Seercast. I am Epi Knight, or I'm Kerrigan, and with me today is Orange.
Hello.
Lime.
Hi.
Kitten.
Orange.
Robo.
Hello.
And we have Hablet, Walter, and Nodyman in the chat. So today we're going to be discussing the September BTS. If you watched the episode a couple days ago, or that was posted up a couple days ago, that was the lore discussion for the month, or for last month. We're focusing more towards the future updates aspect of this podcast and talking about the BTS. So there are several interesting things on the BTS. A couple things we're just kind of gloss over. We talked about the loyalty rework last month. If you want to hear more about us talking about that, check out the August BTS. So yeah, we don't need to cover that again. Also, Super September is nice and all, but it just is what it is. We're also just going to...
It exists.
Yes, it exists. It's a thing, and we're gonna...
End of story.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. So we'll go ahead and get started with the first, what we think is going to be the first update of the month, and that is the Dungeoneering task set. This was hinted at a couple years ago by Mod Mark that he wanted to do something like this, and I was always like, I can't see that ever being happening. That seems so weird. But I mean, I guess it's happening now.
It's a thing.
It is now officially a thing. So we know there's, huh?
Oh, the interesting thing about that is it was hinted to be the next achievement diary well before the desert one came out.
Wasn't it hinted before even Mauritania?
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Mauritania.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It must have been.
We had a lot of desert. We have a lot of achievement diaries.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was hinted. I'm pretty sure it was hinted before Mauritania came out.
Yeah.
And then the desert one came out after that, and at that point I was like, oh, they're just never doing a Dungeoneering one. Such a shame.
And now they're doing it.
And now they're doing it, yeah. So we'll go ahead and go over some of the tasks that they have confirmed. A couple of the easy tasks are just soloing a boss and doing a game of sinkholes. The latter of which I have never done, so
Same
God
here.
damn it.
I've never done a single.
We're gonna find out what it's like.
A couple of the elite tasks are going to be, they've confirmed one is craft and wield a Spirit Bloom Orb, so that'll take 90 crafting, 90 farming, and you think it'll take 90 farming?
Depends. Like if you have to make it from scratch or if not.
I feel like it'll be made from scratch, so it'll probably take 90 farming as well.
That's a lot of requirements.
Hey, the other task sets have more, really. Kill a warped Gulaga without being hit by its 1 HP attack. Okay.
Well, easy since they fixed their animation glitching.
Okay. Oh, that's true. It did have that really annoying glitch.
The thing is that none of this will require 99 Dungeoneering.
Yeah, it's lower than 99.
Yeah, I was surprised about that. So what do you guys think about the fact that it doesn't require higher than 99?
Part of me is like okay with them. Like, yeah, that's good because they don't want any skill capes. Like, I know there's a lot of people who want to get achievement diary at the Taskmaster emote before getting any skill capes, and so that would be impossible if it required over 99 engineering.
Like
yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah, me too. That's what I was worried about before this was released.
But I'm also happy since they're doing the Dungeoneering hard mode thing.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go all the way down to floor 60, which will require 120 to get that new title. And I'm really looking forward to that, actually, because if you remember how I got 119 to 120 Dungeoneering, doing that 5-5 large, every floor, soloing every boss, not leaving the room, not dying.
Yeah, that was awesome, except for Wold Gorger.
Yeah, you missed Gorger.
Anytime Gorger showed up, Robo just rage quit the floor.
Oh, I did try it, but I just never defeated it. I wish I could have another chance at it, but it's too late.
Yeah, I was there for the first 50 floors, and it was fun. It was nice.
you do realize that Marmos and Thok always duoed each monster, right?
Yeah, I soloed him.
Robo's a boss. He was just like, screw this, I'm gonna solo. I still remember your against the gluttonous behemoth. Or like, Robo, you might want a melee. Robo, you might want a melee.
I know, right?
You're just shooting away at it with your hex.
It looked like it was doing good, but the elf wasn't.
No. And then you tried melee, and you're like, holy crap, that's so much easier.
Yep.
But yeah, that was middle of last year when Robo got 120 dungeoneering. He did a challenge, as he just said. He went in order, floor 1 through 60, 5/5 large, soloed all bosses. And the first few, originally he was planning on doing journal hunts for all of the warps, but I think that kind of fell apart.
Yeah, because I was getting too much XP.
Yeah.
I remember one time I actually literally had to just suicide I just suicided the entire floor just so I didn't get 120 before 60.
Oh yeah,
I think you had to do that for 2 or 3. And you had to leave one of the floors early, didn't you?
Every time I failed at the boss, I left early, unless it was at the very, very end where it just got too much. But when I did get Skeletor Horde like 50 times in a row, I started rage quitting that.
God, that sucked. That was so bad. He refused. They refused to give you bosses that were like remotely interesting. You could just face tank the Skeletal Horde.
Yep.
with a hex and just sit on the square and just wait.
The last time I got it, I was just mad and just started raging with it like melee and just didn't even eat or anything and didn't even use the Divine Skin Weaver and still killed it.
Yeah, that was just pathetic. That was, yeah. But yeah, so we'll see what the hard mode is like. Well, I won't. I'm sure the rest of you will. I will not be going back there anytime soon. I still don't have the desert task set even started, so I'm not.
I don't intend on.
I'm in no rush. The extended resource dungeons as one of the rewards look interesting. So,
Yeah.
But everything else is pretty much self-contained within Demonheim.
It would have been nice if there were new resource dungeons instead of just extended, because it's not like all the ones are overflowed with people now already.
Yeah, I know, right? Although they might see more action now that there is an extension of the ones. Maybe that's the way that they see it, though, is because the resource dungeons really aren't used a whole lot. It's an incentive to get more people out there.
I suppose. I'm really liking the other small things you're adding, though, like the extra gate stone. I think that'll be interesting.
In before 3-minute
Added
floors.
God.
Gate stone to the mix.
Sub 4 or GTFO.
Another bind slot. I'm not sure if that means another bind slot for the smuggler or another bind slot on yourself. Like you can have up to an extra item, or if you can just hold up to another one.
Yeah, the ring tracks might be interesting as well. Maybe it'll make
have
spears useful again.
Yeah, you can have 2 ring tracks on at the same time.
But yeah, so let's see, what did the other one? I guess there's a couple more. A couple more of the specific task set things. We won't mention that. One thing that I was actually kind of curious if they were going to do, once I saw that they weren't going to take it to 99 for an elite, I wondered if they would make some kind of a tier above elite for if you have for stuff over 100, where you'd still get Taskmaster after you're done with the elite tasks, but then there's a secondary, because it is the only skill that has stuff that is over 99. And so, I mean, I don't know. That was a thought I had. I'm like, why didn't they do that? Could they have done that?
Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be keep it under max, like, so no one has to, like, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the point about getting Taskmaster before. It would require, for comp, it would require getting all of these done. But for Taskmaster, you could just stick to elite. I don't know. I know why they didn't do it, but
like we'd have to see it happen to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I would
That's
like to
crazy.
have seen it such that, like, I would like to see if they consider doing something like that. Actually, that might be a good question for the frequently asked questions after it's done. So if anybody wants to pose that question in that thread, I'd love to see that answered. I'd really love to see that answered.
Oh yeah, there is one thing I'm really hoping about the Dungeoneering Hard Mode Challenge, to get to floor 60. The one mega thing I'm hoping for is that you can't die during it. Like, if you die, you have to restart the floor or something, because otherwise it's just going to be a suicide fest.
Yeah, it will be.
Like, it could be really harsh if they want to. Like, just imagine, like, it being like the fight caves, and you can log out and I'll log back in, but you can't leave until you either die or you get to the bottom. And if you die, you have to start all the way over from floor 1 again.
Huh?
Oh,
Somebody
it's-
just said something. Or not, I guess I'm hearing things. Yeah, but, so that's some interesting stuff, to think about. When it says, one more thing before we move on to, I guess, let me see what's on my list, to to some of the bossing things that they've talked about. When it says that one of the tasks is to wear a fully upgraded Ring of Kinship, does that mean tier 10 of something? Do you think that's what that means?
They already confirmed that it means just tier 10 of one track, not extremely fully updated ring, because that requires 117 dungeon ring.
Yeah, fully upgraded takes ridiculously high, but even even tier 10 takes, what is it, 250k?
It's a bit more than the chaotic, so it's going to be under 90, but that's assuming you have bought a chaotic. So.
Yeah. I mean, I
the
guess.
nice thing about that, though, is that you still have that one-time reset, so you could just get to your 10, do the task, and reset.
Oh, is there a reset for it now?
There's only one-time reset, so people who haven't used it yet can still use it.
330k to get tier 10. That's to get everything below tier 10 and tier 10. Because I know tier 10 is what, 220? 2 something by itself? Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, that would be interesting. I'm curious to see how the hard mode turns out. I won't be partaking in it myself, but I'm curious. I'm curious to see what they do with it, and I'm sure you'll hear about it in a future Seercast. So on that note, speaking of hard mode, we're going to move on to bossing, and one of the things that is specifically mentioned in the BTS is a Virago update. They are in Walter's topic post. He has, I think this is directly quoted. I believe it's directly quoted from the BTS, where it says, "You better beware, as he'll be firing his new quote-unquote green bomb this month."
Something to do with ethics.
Yeah, that's a direct quote.
Yeah, so, how many of us have actually done Virago with any kind of regularity?
I've never defeated it.
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
I haven't lasted long enough in a team that was competent enough to get anywhere, so.
So none of us have really any experience with that, and shut up, phone.
It's kind of just like, okay, maybe once we're all done with the game, we'll go do it, but at this point it's like, yeah, can't find a decent team, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's... It's really annoying that Viragos are what's required for the level 90 mage gear, because...
Like
and
him compared to Calfight King, like, that isn't bad for 90 melee, and then suddenly 90 magic is the most impossible thing to ever do in RuneScape. It's like, make the gear 99 if it's gonna be that terrifying.
Or make the drop rate really, really high.
Yeah, or make it guaranteed.
Like, every 3 to 4 runs, get something good.
Yeah.
I bet
Yeah,
the
well-
Elder Artifacts will be 99.
Kind of what Walter said. They decided it was way too easy to get 90 mage gear, so they nerfed magic.
God, that's so annoying. Yeah. I mean, that was a recent update. They changed it so that magic spells only hit as hard as the weapon you're using. Or they can only hit up to as hard as the weapon you're using. So basically that means that everybody can only hit with a level 80 quality magic attack.
Yeah.
Which is really stupid.
Unless you're stupidly rich.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love a seismic, but first of all, lol wands, and second of all, I don't have billions to spare.
And doesn't it degrade to nothing, or I don't know how repairing works, but I've heard that it just disappears.
I don't
think
know.
the wand is, isn't
the same as a chaotic, never mind.
Yeah.
It's okay, so it's the same as chaotic. And no, I don't, in fact, have 3 to 4 bill. But yeah, so they're apparently making Virago even more difficult this month, and that'll be irrelevant fun for all of us to watch people fail.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so also there's going to be there's a few Chris L related things. Chris L is of course the boss of bossing, I guess we can say.
The father of all bosses.
Huh?
The father of all bosses.
Yeah, pretty much. He's working on Barrow's content, and since there was hinted at something in the works for high-level solo PVM, it looks like that's probably what this is going to end up being. So, there's going to be, this isn't this month, but this is in the future.
Probably next week, because it's Crystal on it, so.
Well, what?
Nothing. I'm just saying that Crystal gets his updates out really fast. So
Oh, that's true. Just remember within the light. Oh, I wrote it up in 2 weeks, and it was out in the game. Like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, so he has a live stream coming up, and I'm sure when after that happens, we'll have stuff to talk about with regards to future updates, even if it has nothing to do with lore, which it likely won't.
Well, I don't know. I think they might have some lore thing going on with Barrows, like they might want to extend it.
That's true, and with Slisky's
It's probably gonna be
likely ascension, I guess we can say. There probably is more stuff to talk about with that. And yeah, and Walter says in the chat, I expect it after MPD, Missing Presumed Death, and that is, I will agree with that.
Yeah.
So, Mod Mark also mentioned he wants a boss for Skillers, and what?
Okay.
Like, I can't even wrap my head around that.
It was just a suggestion thing. Like, you know how Char, you have to make all those fires to be able to harm her?
I guess.
It'd be something like that, I suppose. But it's just something he wants to do, not something that's going to be in development anytime soon whatsoever.
Oh yeah, he said it was in the, I can't remember where it was where he said that, but he said he was taking ideas for it. So I mean, this is way down the road because they're just taking suggestions to potentially put this onto paper, but yeah.
Cool.
Should be interesting.
Char came out rather well, I think, until they overbuffed it, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I believe, unless anybody has anything else to say about PVM stuff.
Really?
You're reallying Walter in the chat? Yeah, I guess. Walter says, the skilling boss is how he saw the Slug Queen fight being from Salt in the Wound, where you use your skills to slowly weaken and then defeat an unstoppable foe. And then we got mod tricked. Yeah,
yep.
Pretty much. I do find it entertaining the other J mods, some of their quotes on the matter recently, where they've kind of openly come up and said, well, that's not one of our best.
That's not one of our finer moments.
That's not one of our finer moments, and we acknowledge this, but we're not going to retcon the entire quest because of it. But yeah. Okay, so we're gonna move on from, before we move on a little bit, there's also a nice little thing that we should have had before. combat timers we can now see how long overloads and anti-fire potions will last. As Walter says, aka what everybody expected at the EOC launch.
Yeah.
And you can also customize where your buffs and debuffs are on the screen, aka what everyone expected at the NIS launch. So yeah.
Basically.
I'm curious if they're ever going to add timers for things like Juju mining potions,
Yes, please.
in Before Rage, Juju fishing potions, really all of the Juju potions, scentless potions, and basically all of the various skilling potions that have 5-minute timers. Because that would be more useful to me than combat potions. Because it's really hard to keep track of scentless potions when you're doing 50 other things at once. Especially like with Grenwalls, when you're hunting Grenwalls the traditional way with a fruit bat. It's extremely difficult and it's very easy to just forget that you don't have, forget to refresh the scentless potion, and then there's also no way to check if you have it activated. It's just, there's a couple skilling things I'd love to see them do, so,
yeah, like, you don't want to just be, like, winging it the whole time, like, well, I could have 5 minutes, but I wasn't really keeping track, I don't know how much is left.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have a system, but if I mess up my system, then it's like, I have no idea. So, yeah, I may actually pose that as a question in a future live stream, if possible. Because I'm sure there's going to be plenty of other opportunities.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of rage in the chat. Rage of 5 different file types.
Indeed.
BMPs are rage-worthy. Oh dear. Orange posted rage.bmp, which is a bitmap, and yes, that is rage-worthy.
Who uses XCF?
I don't even know what XCF is.
It's a GIMP document.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Shut up, buddy.
Anyways, then we're gonna go ahead and move on. Actually, this isn't the next update. We went a little bit out of order. But next thing we're going to talk about is the Birthright of the Dwarves. It is a Grandmaster quest that is the finale of the Dwarf line. Of the Dwarf Quest series. It has a lot of community involvement with regards to picking that it is happening.
Monster?
They pick one of the monsters. They pick the leader. They pick the name or the concept of the leader of the Chaos Druids. There's also, what is it? They also are going to add a new feature to the lava flow mine, which is suggested by, or which was, how was it? Was it suggested or was it by the people that went to Jagex?
The concept was made from that. Like, without them it wouldn't have been happening at all.
Yeah, so the concept was created when a few of the more well-known players in RuneScape went to the Jagex headquarters.
I like how they're coming out with an Imcamdo pickaxe anyway.
Yeah, and one of the rewards is going to be the Imcando pickaxe, which acts kind of like the Inferno adds, works for woodcutting and fire making. In this case, it's mining and smithing, so that would be interesting.
Cool.
But does it count as a dragon pickaxe?
I suppose so.
I saw something where it's like, it's possibly like add-ons to a dragon pickaxe and spam about what happens with tool belts. But
I know, right?
I don't know
how that changed so far.
I don't understand how it could be like a Inferno adds, but for mining and smithing, because when you burn a log, it goes away, but when you smelt an ore, it turns into a bar.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those, like, I'm not sure how that's gonna work either. But the way I see it is like, if you get an ore, if you're mining ores, it's going to your inventory anyway. So it shouldn't make that big of a difference in that regard. Yeah, you just keep the ore, but it becomes a bar. I'm wondering if... Huh?
Oh, it'll probably work the same way that superheat does, except on a pickaxe instead of your hands.
I'm also wondering if it allows coal-less smithing. Like if you're mining rune, does that give you a chance of a rune bar?
Or that'd be cool.
Or
we did that.
Like
That'd
that's just
rather overpowered. Well,
yeah,
not
it would be OP
because it's already underpowered extremely at the moment, but
Just make it really, really rare.
I don't know. There's clearly balancing things that they would have to think about if they did something like that. But there's so few people that mine rune to begin with. Almost all of the rune comes into the game via critter drops and challenge rewards.
It's because mining rune isn't profitable.
No, it is, but it's not profitable enough. And it's a lot of effort for not a lot of payout.
those rune divine rocks might be cool.
Yeah, the Rune Divine Rocks. Really, I guess that's true. The Rune Divine Rocks kind of changed that to begin with. But very few people are at that level yet. I'm getting close. I'm at 91. And I think Rune Rocks are 94? Let's check.
Seems like... I know it's somewhere around there.
Gathering. Nope, wrong one. Divine Locations. Divine Rune... Oh, yeah, Rune Rocks are 94. And Transmuting is 96? Yeah, Transmuting Runite is 96.
Isn't transmuting really unprofitable anyways?
Right now, with the current prices of energy, yes. But when the skill has been out for a while and all the energy drops significantly, it very well might be profitable. It's one of those things like I feel like if all the parts of the economy are going to kind of line up so that the transmuting prices drive the prices of the energy more so than the second skill, actually. But we'll see. It really is going to be, we'll see how much it's used, how much people think about it. Because, I mean, if you look at it, let's come down here to the bottom of Divine Locations. Divine Runite rocks take 80 luminous energy and 6 runite ores. Transmuting runite ore takes 10 incandescent energies and 6 addy ores to create 1.
Is the energy at the high levels really hard to get or something?
It's not. It's actually really easy to get, but there's not a whole lot of people that are doing it.
Oh, I see.
The thing is, like, I'm getting, per tick, I get 3 energy. This is actually not in the skill update guide for whatever reason. At level 50 you start getting 2 energy per tick, and at level 75 you start getting 3 energy per tick. Like, per XP drop you get 3 energy.
And that's not even just turning them all into energy, that's just regular...
No, that's just your basic harvesting from the wisps, or from the springs.
Yeah,
and then if you turn it in, it's another 4 or 5. But, yeah, so the energy is really easy to come by, but a lot of people are using it right now for training, which is driving the prices.
Sky
high.
Sky high.
Yeah, I mean, I've made 150 mil off of getting divination to 91. I'm not even halfway there, and I've already made 150 mil.
Okay.
Like, that's my rune crafting profits.
Wow.
Like, it's on pace to make as much money as I did with rune crafting, which is kind of ridiculous. It's also taking about as much time because I keep AFKing, but whatever. So yeah, we're totally off topic here, but it's this balancing thing that is interesting that we'll see. I'm just curious to see what they do with the Incando.
I still wish they would have made a pink dragon.
Yes, I suggested that. I suggested that for the monster, a robotic pink dragon. I still have a picture of it. Wait, what's that?
Ignore the gifs. Just keep going.
Why is Nodi posting GIFs in the?
Just keep going. It's okay.
Anyways, post the picture of the pink dragon. I'll add that to the thing because I can.
Why not?
Yeah, because why not?
Yeah, so I guess with the dwarf thing, they have the graphical update too.
Oh yeah, they do. They have the graphical update, and that should be good. They need that badly.
Finally.
Time.
At long last.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's kind of on the level of Karamja as in terribleness. Speaking of which, buying Karamja rework.
Yes, please.
I really hope that's on the list.
Yeah.
And I'll add that to questions I need to ask in live streams.
Yeah.
Is there a Karamja rework coming? Because it looks like it's from 2002.
Yeah, basically.
And it actually
Because it is from 2002.
Most of it is from 2000, is straight out of 2002.
Well, Legends Quest was in Classic, so that brought out Kara's Jungle.
Yeah, wasn't one of the Shiloh things added in like 03 or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
Either way.
can guess, but it's probably not right.
Either way, so that'll be a nice graphical rework for us to gawk at. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. I mean, it's gonna. Oh, and here's my momentary bit of rage. The requirements are what? 80 mining, 82 smithing, and 85 strength.
Yep.
I have level 85 in every skill but strength.
GG.
Gotta be
Literally every skill but strength, and I'm not willing to train strength because lol melee and I don't feel like it.
What is your strength level?
Huh?
What is your strength level?
83.
Oh, that's not too bad.
I mean, I'm 450k off, and I'm just lamping it as far as I can go at this point. Like, I don't do bonus XP. I'm kind of in the Gina camp when it comes to bonus XP, but there's some things that I'm just like, I will not do, and training strength is one of them. If I ever max, strength will be my last 99, attack will be my second to last.
Die hard strength enemy.
Like, it's more diehard melee enemy. I just can't stand melee.
I wonder what strength will be used for in the quest. Probably have to
Well, I mean, it's been used in past quests for like moving stuff. Like if you remember, in Big Arms quest, or I think it was Big Arms, or maybe it was one of the other dwarf ones, where you were like moving a rock, and that required whatever strength. That was the strength requirement.
I bet to get to the headquarters of the Red Axe, you're gonna have to like move a giant rock just to get in there. That's what it's gonna be for.
Maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I really hope they use some Watchtower quest mechanics for the Ogre Shaman.
What do you mean?
Ogre Shamans are supposed to be invincible unless you use an Ogre Shaman potion to kill them.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
There's an Ogre Shaman with a Red Axe. Yet there's no Watchtower quest requirement yet, but I remember John A. responded to Zully Ben saying that he'll account for that, and there will be a Watchtower quest requirement.
Okay, interesting. Good to know. I hope Nody says I hope they remember all the details with the Red Axe. I don't remember all of said details, because it's been so long since I've done even thought about any of those series.
Oh yeah, remember the graphical update's gonna come out with it.
Robo and Walter will find all the lore fails. That you will.
Yeah.
And if not, there'll be
bandits.
clan spam about it regardless. But yeah. So the feedback thread that we gave Stu really helped, and that was nice. I hope they do that again, or they let us do that again, I suppose. Okay, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and move on into, I guess, a quick topic is the Battle of Lumbridge conclusion. I think Robo had something to say about this.
Oh yeah, they did say that the Zamorak will have a backup plan for if he loses, and so we know he's not gonna die or anything. I think that for a long time now, but
I think most of us kind of knew that already, though, because they're not. Somebody said something about this in the clan chat the other day, actually. Like, Saradomin and Zamorak have fought countless times through history. Like, they're not... This battle isn't gonna kill off one of them. It'll embarrass, perhaps injure, and hurt and bring down the ego of the loser, which is likely in this case going to be Zamorak.
Yeah.
Unless, like,
Yeah.
last week becomes PvP and somehow...
Oh god, no.
It should be PvP, really, though.
I can't imagine. Yeah, like, I can
There
see
should
how
be PvP Battle of Lumbridge Worlds. Like, legit.
Worlds, yes, but it's kind of like, what happens with the instances should we be afraid of even the bank area? It's like, be interesting to see if there's ever a glitch with it. It's going to be horrifying.
Yeah,
But-
and that too.
World PK.
Ugh.
Yeah, the thing, yeah, like, it'd be cool, and I wonder if they didn't do this because of the possibility of glitches.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
If you see those, like, consumables from the shops, like, they're, like, completely useless. But they might
Speak
have
up, Robo. I
Oh.
can't hear you.
The consumables from the shop that you can get, they're, like, completely useless because there's nothing worth using them on in the fight, because if you die, nothing happens.
Yeah.
But if it was PvP and you lost your Divine Tears when you died, then it might be more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those, like, it'd be cool if and it just makes sense that it could be PvP, but how would you implement that? And
that pits players against players.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, they were talking about, I think Stu talked about this in his marathon podcast, or his marathon live stream. They talked, I think it might not have been Stu, I don't know who it was, but it was, they talked about adding PvP worlds again, where full across the world PvP.
I like
those.
those.
Huh?
Are fun. Those are fun.
Yeah, that might be interesting, like, in that kind of a context. Having Battle of Lumbridge be PvP, might be interesting. But, I mean, yeah, that's a long shot. I don't think there's any chance that that's gonna end up happening.
So I wonder how the effect of the Battle of Lumbridge will affect the quest, like they keep saying. Like, they're making it out to be like a big thing, like it will actually make a big difference. You know, if missing presumed death is actually on hold because it needs to finish. It's going to be more than just the death of chivalry. Oh, I'm just a minor manifestation change.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the gods will no longer be focused on one another. They'll be focused on the results, I guess, because they are trying to make it a timeline. I'm curious to see how they do it as well, and we'll see soon enough.
Before, like, Lumbridge just turns into Falador 2.0.
If
Yeah.
Lumber just turned into what?
Falador 2.0.
Oh god. Please no. Just no. But with the same graphics.
Uh-oh.
No, please. Yeah, they did. They mentioned in one of the live streams that a Falador rework was coming. So maybe eventually that would be a good thing, but not now.
Maybe
But yeah,
maybe that could be part of Zamorak's backup plan. Like, you know, Saradomin has all his forces in Lumbridge, and then he just goes and takes over Falador or something.
he's like, screw this.
Yeah.
like, fine then.
All your white
Yeah.
knights are here.
But yeah, so that'll be interesting. That finishes in what, 3 weeks?
Yep. Oh yeah, what do you think about this week's moral decision for the Duke's dilemma?
The decision for the question for this week, or the decision from last week?
Well, I mean for the question, not the
The
dog.
question, like,
We only had
It
two
was-
choices because everyone's stupid, but,
Yeah.
I mean,
This is
literally-
this is one where I would have chosen the most expensive option if we did have enough money for it, because it's like the only one that actually has any moral significance to it. But nope.
it's really grim.
Which one? What is okay? What is the question this week? I haven't gone and checked personally.
All the people dying in the Battle of Lumbridges means that they have to expand their graveyards or figure out how to deal with them. The choices are: expand the graveyard with more graves, make mass graves, like, you know, in Death of Chivalry we just have piles and piles of people, or mass graves and have a priest bless them, or just throw them in the Lumbridge catacombs. That's the one that costs nothing.
The only two choices we have are like, I think it's mass graves and catacombs. Are those the only two out of the four?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the only
Mass
two.
graves or catacombs.
Because we're out of money.
Yes,
graves.
because people are idiots.
Mass graves will leave us at 0 if they get chosen. Then rather against.
I love how people were assuming that we'd get more money. And
Yeah.
clearly this shows we're not getting more money, you guys done goofed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if I had my choices, I think we'd have 60k left.
If we had my choices, we'd have 10k.
Lime,
Please.
It's better than 5k.
I bet Lime
it's
wanted
slightly
those,
better
didn't
than 5k.
you? Lime wanted the desert people, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Me too.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that they had done it on a per person basis, but I guess whatever. We have to live with the idiots in the community, and
Hope the next one's like members only.
yeah, community is bad. Yep, pretty much. But yeah, so Battle of Lumbridge ending soon. Stay tuned for that. I'm sure we probably. Well, our next podcast is, unless barring some massive lore thing from massive lore stream, probably going to be after Birthright of the Dwarves, and that may or may not happen after the conclusion. We're not sure.
Whenever it happens.
Yeah, it's like whenever it happens, but we'll probably have our next one after Birthright of the Dwarves. So, and we have one more rather large topic to cover here, and that is the World Gate quest. In a recent podcast, this was actually a podcast, Mod Osborne was talking to... Who was developing this? It's Rowley.
Rally.
Mods Rowley.
They always call him Rally for some reason.
Don't know.
Like voice was.
Maybe it's S. Rowley, and
his last name is Rally.
Yeah, then it's probably his first name starts with an S, and it's just. But Mods Rowley is creating a World Gate quest. So it's centered around. Well, it features. I don't want to say it's centered around because we don't actually know, but it's featured around the World Gate, which is the portal of life, and it involves a lot of pre-first, first, and second age lore. So it has some really old stuff that we're going to be talking about, and probably most of this is things we've only speculated about. Like, we know very little about
Serene.
About stuff from first and second age. Most of our lore begins in the third age with the God Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that during the second age, a bunch of the gods came and they started off all their expansion, and then there's Zeros and crap like that. And apparently there were these rune wars.
Yep.
And that's all we know. That's
it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
that was second age was when Zeros fell, wasn't it?
the end of the second stage, yes. But have you seen the map of like godly expansions during the second age?
Godly expansions?
No, the gods' territory in second age.
That fail map, which somebody link it because we're going to post it up.
I know Walter has like both of the terrifyingly mistake-filled lore fail maps.
No, there was some unofficial one that was made.
Oh, unofficial,
and
okay.
It was this map of all these. Yeah, it was unofficial, not like.
Okay,
and
yeah,
many of
if you can find that map like right now, it'd be great.
I'm finding it. I'm finding it. I'm trying.
Okay, good.
The
unofficial probably worse.
It may or may not be worse, but yeah, the quote-unquote official ones were a little scary.
Yeah, the official one had some serious lore fails in it. Ignoring the colors, which I think people paid way too much attention to. Like, okay, pink is Bandos, whatever. Like, what other color would it be? Because you already have the obvious purple is Zeros, blue is Armadil, green is Saren, even though green was Saren's was like all over the place. I don't even.
I did the retarded, like, near colorblind. I couldn't tell the difference between the pink and, like, the magenta and the purple. Like, the longest time, I'm like, wait, okay, the color, that's supposed to actually be Bandos. That wasn't a mistake.
Yeah, I didn't have much problem with that, but I know that some people did. But still.
I'm really looking forward to this
keep going.
quest. Like,
Huh?
I'm really looking forward to it, even more so than Missing Presumed Death, just because I like the elements that the quest will be about. Like, to me, it sounds like it's going to be a nightmare quest.
Yeah, it sounds, what they said is that the character will largely be by himself, or herself, and there's going to be themes of isolation, loss of identity, and mental illness. What it sounds like is, like, I don't know whether this is my Zerub brain thinking here, but it sounds like what Zeros would have had to put up with after being dethroned. Isolation, loss of identity, and perhaps mental illness.
I'm thinking of it in a different way, like, because we know the quest is going to be about showing the limits of being a world guardian, what happens when a god really tries to force something on you, and what the limits are and what you can and cannot do. So what I think is there's going to be a god heavily influencing us in this quest, and that once we pass through the world gate, they're going to be trying to take over us or something like that, and I really think it's going to be Zeros because of this quote.
Okay, here's a big quote. I'm just going to go ahead and read it off.
It's at the bottom, really, the important part.
Huh?
The important part's at the bottom where it talks about Shirley.
Screwed, I'm just going to read the whole thing regardless. Okay, so, in the accidental Mod Osborne live stream. Huh? Okay, hold on, Lime. In the accidental Mod Osborne live stream, somebody asked, when is Zeros coming back? Mod Osborne replies, King for Air, you know I'm a massive follower of Zeros myself as well. I probably like him since Slisky, and I think that can still happen, right?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know what he is saying.
That's a strange quote. I don't think that's a problem. When is Zeros coming back? Well, anyone who's listened to the podcast knows we have plans. We're gonna do stuff with him. My ideal, or my feelings, is that it should go into a quest. So, it'll probably be a quest. When will it happen? Well, if you imagine that it's, a quest that features him in some way, it's at design overview stage. Still at early days, but we got big plans, and at the moment I can reveal that Mod Srowley, who is working on the Ozan quest, may well be heavily involved in something that involves Zeros. Now, we know that Srowley is doing this quest. He was on this podcast, and yeah.
Yeah. The funny thing about in the podcast is they're really trying to avoid saying which god, or if it'd even be a god or an elder god in it. But they did this a couple days earlier, and it's at Divine. When in the podcast with the World Gate, they said it's at Divine Design Overview stage, and so it goes along with this quote, and that's at Divine Design Overview. So I think it's one and the same.
Is this map, the map that just got linked, was that the unofficial one?
I think these were the two official. Yeah, these were...
No, it's not the unofficial one.
Yeah, these are the two official lore
This
fail.
was the Kingdom. This was the Kingdom one, not the...
I'm trying to find it.
No, the God Alliance one was posted.
The God map, the one that just got linked was the Kingdom map. And that one's more or less correct, except that some of the Elflands things is just wonky. I don't understand one of that, but I'll post that.
Yeah, some of them are kind of lulls, but...
Wait, where's the other one? Let's find the other one. Deity map.
Walter and I both just spammed it in.
And yeah, the deity map one is the one that's lullsly false in some regards. Especially regarding, like, I'm sitting here on Dragontooth Isle, there is a Saradomin statue. This is not a Zamorak Island.
Yeah.
It's just not. I'm sorry. A lot of the other stuff is correct, though, with some exceptions.
Well, to go off what
Black Knight's fortress not being Zamorakian, what?
Yeah.
I'm still working on it.
I'm reading down, and there's a lot of stuff to read. Alright, there's that for the third time. And there's that, again, that's the kingdom map. Deity map, deity map, deity map, dude. Okay, I've got all of them. Yeah, but okay, so it's interesting though. We'll see, but it sounds like the themes of isolation, identity, mental illness, it all sounds like Zeros to me. But it sounds like Zeros after he was dethroned, so it's like, I don't know, this is...
The way I think of it, I think it might be the player. Like, this influence might make us forget who we are and what we do and forget all of the stuff about us, and this influence is trying to manipulate us into thinking that we're something else, and we have to either recover our memories and recover who we are, or let it take over us.
Yeah. This may also be another hint, I guess, to that this may be Zeros' return, is the fact that it said, oh my god, my brain not working. They've said that this is going to have a narrative impact on the scale of The World Wakes. The World Wakes saw Guthix die. Like, that's such a gigantic impact to the rest of the world that Saradomin and Zamorak coming back pales in comparison. Zeros was a tier 2 god when he was on the plane. Like, when he comes back, he's going to be far and away the most powerful being in the world. So, yeah.
So, I think this could continue off of that Zeros using the player as the host thing, because it's influencing, like, they're trying to take over the player or something. But,
God damn it, I knew, before you say something, I right after I said that Zeros will be far and away the most powerful player in the world, Nody Man said no, and then was typing, and I was expecting Nody to post, no, but Farmer Fred will be. No, Walter posted Farmer Fred will be. I was absolutely expecting something about Farmer Fred from one of you. Plot twist, Farmer Fred is Zeros.
Yeah, screw it being a Majorat, he's just Zeros.
Like, what if you have to, like, you know how since Saradomin can't teleport you unless you allow him to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be trying to manipulate you into allowing Zeros, or you can just freely let him in there, but...
I feel like yeah, I don't know. That's... There's a lot of implications with this next one. It's going to be a master level quest, so it is going to it is certainly going to have requirements. It's not going to be, but
it reminds me of a game I used to play called Fable: The Lost Chapters, the first one. Where at the end of the game, when you defeat this bad guy, you've been trying to defeat the whole time. He has this mask, and once you defeat him, the mask is just there on the ground. And as you pick it up, it like starts talking to you, and like there's a big cutscene where it tries to manipulate into you putting it on, or there's just like a button, like just press A to destroy it, or you can let the cutscene keep going and it keeps manipulating you. If you don't press anything until the end of the cutscene, then you wear it, and then you become the evil villain. They overtake you, and you can't take off the mask. The game's over. You can still run around, you just can't take it off.
Interesting.
And your evil alignment goes over max, and you can't do anything about it, so...
GG.
Oh, and the best part about it is, you know how like you have the quest journals in this game?
Yep.
Well, there's quest journals in that game too, and if you let them take over you, if you look at the quest journal for the final quest, it's like, oh look, this hero had a journal. How sweet.
Oh.
And it says something about how he's like gone forever and just...
But yeah, so that's some interesting stuff. This World Gate quest. It's located in the Elf lands, isn't it? Or it's theoretically?
Did I find? Nope, I did not find it. Sorry.
Hey,
I thought I found it, but I didn't. I'll keep looking.
So Saren had the World Gate, and it was lost to quote-unquote unemptiness. The World Gate we knew of was in the Elflands, then it went missing.
So we'll find out.
Yeah, it is we'll find out soon. This is not something they'll keep particularly quiet, though. If they've already announced it when it's in its first couple weeks of development, they'll be talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
It's supposed to come out within the next 6 months or so. I mean, that's a long time to be waiting. Weren't they hoping to get this out by the end of the year?
Yeah, they're considering, they kind of want it to be. It could be, but he'd have to work really good.
Yeah,
like,
so, I mean,
for December quests. That'd be awesome.
To be safe, it's probably going to be January or February if they're... But, I mean, they're also wanting to get the second skill out by the end of the year, ideally.
Well,
that's unlikely as well, but...
Oh, we have to keep one thing in mind, though. Well, it seems pretty soon for the World Gate quest to come out in, like, what is it, 5 months or so?
Mm-hmm.
We have to look at the Dwarf quest. That was started in, what was it, April?
Yeah, I mean, the World Wakes was only a 6 month or 6 to 8 month development time. The Owen quest was a 3 month. It was originally planned to be in development for 3 months because it was originally supposed to come out in May. It got pushed back because of the RS3 release, and so eventually it turned into 6 months. But it was originally planned to be 3 months. And that quest had a lot of stuff in it, so...
We also have to keep in mind that this quest is going to have very few characters, and they always say that voice acting doubles or whatever the development time, so they won't have to do that much with this.
Yeah, they won't have to do that anywhere near as much.
Well, they won't do as many characters at least.
It may just be one character that has an overwhelming amount of lines.
Oh, no, they said it'd be a few very highly anticipated characters, which I think since it's Zero slated will be Aznatch, Zeros, and maybe Wahizaitan.
Yeah. Zeros and his Majorat cronies, I guess I
maybe
can say.
Acthanakis if he wants to get into the whole mix, because he's been really left out.
Who?
Acthanakis.
Him. Camel face.
Yep.
Yeah, and hopefully Farmer Fred has a cameo. Just, do it for us.
I can actually see them doing that, though.
Didn't they say there's going to be a Cabbage reference?
Like they said there's going to be what?
I think that was Missing Presumed Death. There's going to be a Berserker Prime reference crowbarred into a quest.
We'll say that happened and move on, because that should never happen.
I like how they mentioned crowbarred into the quest. Just like forced in there.
Like, because that's exactly what it is.
Here, take your reference, leave us alone.
Yeah, Brassica has no business being in any of these. Shut up about it.
Still, fun voice acting, but that's about it.
Yeah, it is hilarious voice acting. But, yeah. So, anything else anybody wants to say about the World Gate quest?
Still working on that map.
Well, they don't, the viewers won't care because it'll just be up.
It got you kicked from Nodevine, by the way.
Good job.
No, I just left on my own accord.
Oh, okay, good. I was hopping while that happened. It's like, wait, what did they do?
Lime, what did you do?
What didn't I do?
That is a better question.
Everything.
Hey, that's good.
Wait, what about the Sword of Worlds, Nodi?
Oh, you mean the Rift Sword?
Nodi says something about the Sword of Worlds in chat. Do we think it'll be featured or mentioned?
It's like a we'll have to see sort of thing.
I don't know. It doesn't sound... The quest, to be honest, it doesn't sound like the Elder Artifacts are going to play any real role in it. Zeros already has his power. Like, that's not the problem. The problem is a host.
Yeah.
And... I don't know. Robo is more knowledgeable on this, but
People always think that the host reference is not to the player, and that might just be something different. But I still think it's possible, especially now. So with what we
Yeah,
know
I
about
think-
the quest.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, like,
yeah,
what would he
I
want-
do think it's absolutely possible.
What else would he be trying to force his influence on us for?
Yeah.
In such a dark, nightmarish place, far away from a different world.
Yeah, it's confirmed that we will be going to a different world. What world? Who knows? But
I'm thinking it might be Frenescape.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
We have to see.
Again, like it all sounds like. I wonder if we'll be going to whatever plane Zeros has been living on.
I think it'll just be full of shadow, like lots of very mysterious, dark things,
Yeah.
ghostly.
In before Amnesia on RuneScape.
Oh god, no. No invisible water monsters, please. No.
In before.
Yeah, in before 45-minute speedrun. QQ.
Oh, they said that the world gate isn't necessarily broken, but it will need some touch-up before it can do something. And while we only use one mechanic with the world gate in the quest, it has other uses that might be used later on in different ones. And it also might be how we get to the other worlds that they're planning on letting us go to, like Frenescape and the Infernal Dimensions and stuff.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things that are implied with this quest, and it is absolutely something we will be doing future podcasts on.
Oh, yeah.
I would not be surprised if we do a dedicated World Gate podcast at some point, probably after it's released in however many months. But yeah, so this is going to kind of be a watch this space kind of deal, because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline regarding this that we'll have to talk about. So
one more thing about the world gate, though, I have to mention. They said that it's going to look like what it did in the Origins of Gilner video.
I don't remember how it looked. Somebody give me a screenshot and then.
I'll look
Okay, let's
for
see.
it. Origins of Gilner.
He's Googling World Gate. You know, all up at the same time.
Well, I mean, that's the easiest way of finding it. But yeah,
All
so
the stupid videos, advertisements.
yeah,
Why only place libraries for athletes? Oh my god.
Violence dead.
Okay, found it.
learn to ad block. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so that's.
No, I didn't look. Okay,
I think that pretty much covers what we wanted to talk about today. Unless anybody else has anything else they want to say about the World Gate.
The point I was trying to get at with the God map is that we really don't know much about what happened during the Second Age. There is a lot of gray area.
Okay, that's true.
Same with the third.
Same with
Yeah.
the Third Age.
Yep, we have endless
Yeah,
information.
we don't-
Fourth and fifth, though.
Yeah, well, the fourth and fifth are pretty much mapped out, just like if you think about it in the terms of the real world, like it's really, really obvious what happened from about 1400 onwards, and we can consider that like the fourth and fifth age. Before that, everything gets a little bit more muddled, and while we know generally, once we go past even the Third Age, we kind of know, and we can kind of consider the Third Age like the Dark Ages. But once you get to the Roman area, time of the Romans and before, we know very little aside from the massive empires, which is what we know from the First and Second Age. We know that there were massive empires, and we know generally where they existed, and that was about it.
Luckily, we have people that are still alive from the second age and first ages that we can ask.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike
But yeah. So I believe that we'll go ahead and wrap up this podcast for today. Nody Man says wait. God damn it, Nody.
Unfortunately, our avatar doesn't seem to be interested in asking those
Oh,
questions.
damn it, we need to mention penguins.
Oh my god, yes!
How did we
Toadstools at
forget?
Battle of Lumbridge, I don't know. Just throw something in.
How did we forget to mention penguins?
That's our penguin reference.
I got
No! God damn it, I'm...
Thank you for
God, how did we forget to mention penguins? I'm ashamed.
well, I guess mentioning penguins is an okay trade-off for...
Yeah. In before penguins are the host of Zeros.
Oh dear.
Oh. Well, with slugs, I mean, I guess Zeros isn't necessarily out of the picture, but that'd be funny as just kind of a spoof quest.
Yeah.
You know how many followers that Zeros would lose and gain at the same time?
Ultimately, the numbers wouldn't change.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he actually might gain more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so... Huh? Oh, I can hear myself. That's lovely. So now that our penguin reference is, in fact, taken care of, that'll do it for this podcast. This has been us discussing this September BTS. Our next one will likely be after the Dwarf Quest, because that'll give us a chance to cover both the Dungeoneering updates, probably the PVM update, and then obviously the Dwarf Quest update.
I'm looking forward to this month.
Yeah, this month is going to be pretty awesome, and we should have a good slate of things to talk about on our next one. So hopefully you guys tune in for that. Subscribe, check us out on Twitter at Seercast, and yes, stay tuned for future content. So we will see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.